Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining in on the video resumes presentation. It's going to be really good, and I have a lot to share with you. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I work as an educator here in the Port School District. I have a number of things that I do. I'm also an adjunct at NYU, and I still run a video production company. Well, my daughter is actually doing that right now. She's in video production, so we're very into video resumes, how it should be done in the right manner. There's a very technical side to it if you want it to be really, really perfect. But we can talk about that a little bit later on. But anyhow, I got into video resumes back in 2005. And the reason being, we were so into video production at the time. And I said, because I teach interviewing strategies at NYU, and I said, well, why not do a video resume? so
I'm so
that's okay. Just turn your mic down. So we started, my husband and I started to put together like a script using the tell me about yourself question. And he shot the video while I spoke on camera. And it turned out to be really nice. So at the time, I approached the dean of education at NYU and I said, well, video resumes should, it's something that's up and coming and I think it's going to become popular at some point. So he asked me to write a paper about it. So I wrote a paper about it. It was published in a communications journal. And then I had won the Teaching Excellence Award because of it. So it's definitely something that you may want to think about at some point. It's fairly easy to do. So I'll show you some videos, as we move along. So I'll continue just by saying that this workshop will explore techniques in which we can use technology to examine methods of marketing oneself online, including networking and interviewing. It will also examine video resumes and their content. How effective are video resumes to the potential employer? Is it the way of the future? Utilizing technology to a greater extent has now become second nature by the employer and the employee. Will a paper resume become obsolete? Paper resume, I don't think will become totally obsolete because we can still email resumes. An actual paper, yes, because you don't want to mail a resume into an employer anymore. In fact, everyone wants it as a PDF, which is a lot easier for them to open up and keep track of and so forth. Let's go to the next slide. Video resume is a short video created by the candidate for employment and uploaded to the internet or emailed to a hiring manager for prospective employees to review. In the video, the candidate shares detailed information about their skills and experience. So I'm going to show you, it's a very short video of how simple you could do this using your iPhone. If you have an iPhone, a smartphone, just take a look at this video and see how quick this can be done. Can everyone see the screen?
yes.
Okay. So using your smartphone, so set the camera sideways, placing it on some putty. So it's that simple. Do you see? Now you'd want to upload this to, if you have a YouTube channel, if you can upload it to your YouTube channel. If you don't have a YouTube channel, you can start one. All you have to do is go into youtube.com and sign up, and it's free. You can upload this video to your personal YouTube channel. Or if you have a personal website, you can upload the video to that website as well. Or a Facebook page, but just keep in mind, if you upload it to your Facebook page, you've got all of your friends and family seeing this video.
Is that even accessing the cameras? The camera, so we're good.
I'm sorry. So you can upload the video to Facebook as well, but just decide if that's what you'd like to do. You can, like, for instance, I have 2 Facebook accounts. I have one that's totally business purposes, and I have one that's just my friends and family. So you may want to have one where you keep that's business-like, and have anything regarding work on that specific Facebook page, and keep it professional. You don't want to add, just anyone to it. You just want to keep employers, different companies. You want to be connected to them, where people that can see, employers that can see this actual video that you're putting together. And you'd also want to have a copy of your resume uploaded onto that site as well. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, where would you get the link for this video?
Well, when you make the video, and that's a very technical part of it. When you make the video on your iPhone, you save it, and then you can upload that save onto the computer, onto your Facebook page. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and practice doing it with an iPhone, but also just make sure, if you notice the lighting, his lighting here is good, but when the video actually came on, the lighting kind of got a little bit darker. So you want to have a ring light, but the only problem is now it's very difficult to get a ring light online because it's so popular. Everyone's online, everyone's remote. All the schools are remote. So it's something that, just keep trying Amazon, and it's maybe like $30 for a ring light, but it really helps. If you notice, I have one right here. I'm using one on my face right now. So this is not a lamp, it's a ring light. It's about this big, and it's actually covering my whole face. So it's something that's really worth getting. I'm not a spokesperson for them, just so you know, but I truly believe in the ring light. It really helps a lot with the features, the way the lighting, hits the face. It's really, really good. So let's move on. I have some other videos I'd like to show you as well, and talk about writing a script. So typically, this video is used to supplement, not replace. Okay, keep in mind, it's not to replace a paper resume, a PDF. As with a print resume, it's possible for a video resume to either be general or targeted toward a particular position or company. It can be created by a professional for you, or you can create your own. Some job search and networking sites provide a means for users to incorporate videos into their profiles. Now, not all companies, okay, just keep in mind, not all companies expect a video resume. In fact, it's still something very new. Back when I did it in 2005, it was extremely new. You couldn't find a thing on the internet regarding video resumes, absolutely nothing. So it's come a long way, and it's still fairly new, and people are just really playing around with it, having the iPhone or smartphone, something you could do on your own. And quite honestly, I know some of you have had interviews remotely. So that's basically what it is. You can tape when you're on a remote interview. You can actually press on your laptop or your iPhone, videotape, and actually tape that interview. And that's basically what a video resume is. By answering the question, tell me about yourself, which I'll talk about fairly shortly. So how a video resume can help, depending on your industry, again, it can be a helpful add-on to your job application. it's important to keep in mind that a video resume isn't always going to get you the job. Okay, it's just an add-on. It can assist you in marketing yourself to the prospective employers if it's done right. Should you create a video resume? It's an excellent way to show off your personality. For people especially in client-facing roles whose work involves charming prospective buyers, a video resume may be beneficial. For instance, the acting field, that's one place, or video production, that's definitely an industry that uses video resumes quite often, mostly often. Creating a video resume is an optional task for job seekers. It's quite rare for companies to require or request a video resume again from candidates. A Robert Half survey reports. Does anybody know who Robert Half is?
Yes, staffing company.
Yes, it's a staffing company, and it's free. And it's a company that you should all look into and post your resume. It's a very good company. They've got excellent reports on helping people find jobs. So definitely look into Robert Half, write it down, or I can email it to you. So they use traditional resumes, Word document or PDF. So basically only 3% of staffing companies at this point are interested in video resumes or infographics. Infographics, does anyone know what that is?
Mm-mm.
Yes?
No.
Okay, it's sort of
Animated.
yes, you can make an infographic. It just pictures of your past background you can put together on a large sheet, and you can also create that as a PDF and email it to a potential employer. I can show you examples of that. Let's take a look at another video. Now, just really follow this video. It's very, very good. It's from Job Active, another site that you may want to look into. Okay.
Traditional resume outlines your qualifications, skills, and experience on paper. A video resume lets an employer see your personality, passion, and see if you are a good fit for their business. Here are some tips to make the most out of your video resume and land you that next job. 1. Plan before you film. Think about how you want the video to feel. Are you talking directly to the camera? Will you be interviewed? Or will you showcase a project you've worked on? 2. Work out the key points you want to say and write your ideas ahead of time to avoid saying too many ums. 3. Don't make it boring by reading out a script word for word, and don't just read out your written resume. An employer will read that if they want to. 4. Start by introducing yourself and tell the employer why you're the right person for the job. 5. The first few seconds of your video should grab the employer's attention, so be engaging and show enthusiasm. 6. Stand out from the crowd and show employers what you can offer them. 7. Approach your video resume in the same way you would a face-to-face meeting. Dress how you would if it was an interview, or in a way that matches the style of your video. Remember, keep it short and under 2 minutes. Make sure it passes the share test. Don't put out content you wouldn't want going viral. And take down the video when you're no longer looking for employment. You can find plenty of resources online. Just search introductory video editing. So use your imagination and get filming.
Okay. So do you see, it all matters as to what you put into the content. And again, we'll talk about answering the tell me about yourself question, but you have to keep it under 2 minutes. It should be 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes long. Even 2 minutes might be a little bit long because the employers are so busy looking at people's resumes. And for one job, let's say for one job posted at NYU when I worked in human resources, we received at least 1,000 resumes for one job, and it's almost doubled now. So, and just so you know, your resume, when it goes to an employer, it's going into a bank, and it's all computerized now. So you've got to use specific wording on that resume, on that video resume, that's going to make your resume get seen by the computer. Okay. The computer pulls it out and it's then sent to the employer. So it's really tough right now. If you feel, I know when you send out a resume, you feel like it just gets lost in a sea of resumes. And, quite honestly, it happens. It happens all the time. But you just have to keep sending it out and you just have to keep practicing over and over and over again, content for the video resume, if that's something that you would consider sending along with the paper resume. So let's move on. For some job seekers, particularly ones in visual or creative fields, a video resume can highlight valuable skills. It is useful for showing any type of performance-based work, whether it involves acting on stage, teaching a class, or presenting quarterly numbers. However, if your role is not very visual, then a video resume might not help further your candidacy. You should be mindful that it's easy to miscalculate a video resume. It's very easy to do that. That is, there's a high risk of script, filming style, or location being appropriate. So the first thing you want to do is write out a script and practice it, okay, over and over again in front of your, just use your iPhone, just go over and over with the appropriate lighting. And after practicing a certain amount of times, you'll start to get a good feel for what is required on that video resume. So here are the tips for creating a video resume. If you're considering creating a video resume as part of your job search, keep these tips in mind. Be professional, even though it's just you and maybe the person that's videotaping. Dress as you would for an interview and maintain a professional demeanor. Avoid slang and, of course, fillers like, we all use it. We all use those fillers. It's very, very normal. Be cautious when it comes to jokes. What's funny to you may not make others laugh. Find a good background. If you see my background, it's very plain. It's got a little certificate hanging up, but just nothing too fancy. Just make it very simple. Do add your certificates on the wall. That would make it look, very professional. If you don't have, that's okay too. Just a plain wall with a nice picture would be fine. Find a good background. Pay attention to the background of shots. Make sure it looks tidy and that there are no noises in the background. You'll also want to make sure the lighting is good. My kids are home. They're upstairs. And I said, you guys, you got to be quiet because I have a presentation right now. So they're up in their bedrooms and they're being very quiet. A shadow across your face can be very distracting. So just be wary of that. Prepare a script. Don't ad-lib your video. You want to seem natural and off the cuff, and but should have a sense of what you want to say and how you want to phrase it. Do not read from the script. In fact, here's what I tell my students. You read in the beginning. You read from the script. You go over it a couple of times, and then you just try to memorize as much as you can. This way it sounds natural. It doesn't sound robotic. And it'll just be a lot more cleaner looking and natural, from the beginning to end, but it takes practice, of course. Okay, I have another video for you. This one is quite detailed, but let's just do one more slide before we go on to that video. Keep in mind that, as with anything on the internet, once your video file is out there, you cannot control how it's shared. So be very wary of what you say, what's in the content. An unprofessional and inappropriate video resume can hinder your chances of getting an interview. In the worst case scenario, a poorly conceived and executed video can actually knock you out of the contention and embarrass you. So again, practice makes perfect, and we all know that. So just keep practicing that script, which we'll go over shortly. So here is how to make a video resume in 1 hour. This one is quite detailed. It's a little bit on the longer side, but I think you should all pay close attention to what the author is saying. And she's quite good, by the way.
How do I create a video resume that helps me stand out in the job search when I may not be very good at video editing or speaking on camera? Hey everyone, this is Self-Made Millennial. I'm Madeline Mann, and today you'll learn how to build a video resume without having to talk on camera and without having editing skills. I'll show you how to put together the 6 parts of your script, how to edit it within a few hours, and then send it to every company you apply to. To get more bleeding edge job search tips from a human resource professional who knows exactly what employers want, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell to get new videos on Thursdays. As someone who has interviewed thousands of people, I believe I've only seen one candidate ever give a video resume, and it was passed around the office. People were watching it. Simply put, this is a way to stand out. No one is doing this stuff. And stay to the end because I will show you a full video resume to inspire you. What is the purpose of having a video resume? It is to break up the monotony of the same old thing. I have employees who call me over and say, hey, Madeline, check out this candidate who created this video, sang this song, wrote this letter. It's really anything that helps you to stand out among the pack. A video resume is absolutely not going to guarantee that you will get an interview, but it really helps you to stand out. So take that advantage. Make no mistake, you still need a killer resume. And I have a free masterclass to help you build that amazing standout resume. So I will link that in the comments and in the description. If there is a waitlist, make sure you sign up to get on the next class. What are some of the attributes of a great video resume? Make it customized. Now, this sounds like a huge lift, but it actually isn't if you follow my steps. I recommend not outsourcing the video editing so that you can make these quick edits for different companies that you want to apply to. I'll show you a free tool to use. It's called InVideo, which is a lot like the video editing version of Canva, where
Okay, InVideo, it's a free video making program. And I suggest that all of you check it out, try it out. It's amazing. It's free. It's very easy to use, and you can make your own videos using that. So it's invideo.com. If you want to write that down, or I can send it to you in an email as well. invideo.com.
have all these professional looking templates that you can use to make really sleek videos using their stock footage. So it ends up coming out looking like a really professional video, but with almost no skill involved. I have an affiliate link for InVideo, so I will link it in the comments and description. Check that out and use the code as well. And thank you so much for supporting this channel. Also, avoid talking on camera. If you're a little awkward or you don't have the right equipment, trust me, I was awkward speaking on camera for a very long time. And if you don't believe me, I will link my bloopers in the comments and you'll see. Thanks for going undercover with me. I need to go back into hiding now. So the approach I'm going to teach you relies a lot on text, music, stock footage, so that you don't need to focus on being a superstar on camera. Alrighty then, let's walk through the 6 parts to your script. Then I will show you a sample script, and then we'll walk through how to build out your video resume, and I'll show you a completed version at the end. Let's dive in. So the 6 recommended sections to your script are introduction, the type of professional you are, why you're passionate/interested, accomplishments, social proof, and closing. If you have nothing to say for some of these, absolutely leave it out. I'm just trying to give you lots of options. Let's walk through an example script with these in action. But before we do, just a side note, make sure this video ends up being between 30 and 90 seconds. You go longer than 90 seconds, and I'm telling you, these people have stuff to do. They can't sit there watching a feature-length film of your resume. The first thing you'll want to do is to write your script, a nice, concise script. So first you want to start off by introducing yourself, and the first thing you want to do is also say the name of the company that you're pursuing. You want them to know up top that you are giving them special attention. So this is really helpful. Then say what type of professional you are. I'm using Career Coach as an example here for this, but this can be really whatever your profession is. So if you're a nurse, or let's say you're not in that profession yet, you still are that type of professional. So you could say, I'm an up and coming nursing professional, something like that. So why are you passionate? So with this section, I think it's important to, ideally, if you want to customize it to each company, you could write about why are you passionate about that company. That's going to be really compelling. But I think a lot of you might want to do an approach that is a little bit more plug and play, where you can use it across lots of companies. So I showed you how to show that you are passionate about what you do. Now, why this section is so important is because on your resume, we don't really get to see why you're passionate. So then you'll want to give specific accomplishments. We're not doing buzzwords here. We're not saying, collaborative, right? We're saying that we are getting results. So I listed 3 accomplishments here. Then it's really great if you can to have social proof. So if someone's written a recommendation or a letter of recommendation, either like on your LinkedIn profile or elsewhere, you could take a quote from that and put it in your video. And finally, have a closing of say, the company's name again, and talk to you soon. So notice that it really just the intro and the outro are the only parts that are customized here, but I do encourage you to customize more. Let's get to building our video resume. I am here on InVideo, and there's a lot of different ways to build your video resume on here. It's just so easy, this platform. That's why I'm really recommending it. It's pretty foolproof. So you can choose the format that you want to use. I do recommend for this, we should use the YouTube landscape. You can either use a lot of their pre-made templates. They have even a template for a video resume, so you can just type that in and grab it. Then you can also do an article to video, where you can basically paste in that script that we just said, and it puts something together for you. Or you can just start from a blank template and use all of their cool features. So before we jump into there, I just want to make sure that you are going to save so much time if you go over here first to branding presets and set your colors and set your typeface, so that for every presentation, every video you create, it's going to have the right colors that match what is your preference. There we go. That's more like it. And then hit save. So when you come back here, you can search video resume, and they do have some that are great video resumes. You can check them out here. But I'm going to do article to video because it is just so darn easy. We already have our script written, so I will just go ahead and choose one of their templates and go for it. Then we will add our script here and paste it. And I typically like to uncheck this box. Magic, we now have all of these different sentences ready to go, and so now let's edit them further. Let's make this first one my face. And I recommend you do this as well, that you make your first one a picture of you. Like I said before, I'm not going to have you add your own video. So this is just great for them to see your face. Let's adjust it to be up here, and then let's just change the color since it is orange on orange. Let's maybe make it a light blue. Done. Great. So now let's add some video here so that we don't have to put ourselves on camera. So I typed in office, and this is just a way to kind of get started, find some good content here, and we can watch a sample of it. And okay, this one looks pretty good. So I'm going to pull this in here and add it. So now here's what it looks like. Very cool. You can search for anything in this library. There are over 3 million pieces of media. You can also change the format like this. Let's make sure that we're just setting this all to look really good. And for my social proof, I'm going to change it to a quote. I'll add her photo. Looking great, and then I'll adjust. There she is, and then I'll move her over here, and I will fit with transparent, and maybe I'll add a colored background. Layers, get the background, and that looks great. Let's finish off with another image of ourselves to really put a face to the name. Then we'll edit. Let's go to scenes. Let's choose this one. And then let's make this look a little bit better. Move this over. Transparent, the same thing you saw before. Voila, looking good. Then let's make sure that we choose our music. So let's look at our category, say inspirational, and look through, try a few different ones. I quite like this one, so I'll choose this as select. And it's as simple as that. All right, so let's preview this video. We are all set. Let's check out the full video resume. Also link a free digital download to help you answer the question, tell me about yourself. Oh, this is the most common interview question, and you can use this worksheet to not only answer in the interview, but also in your video resumes, in networking, in cover letters, all that stuff. So make sure to grab that in the comments and in the description. Thanks for watching. You've got this. Wi-Fi high five.
Okay, what do you think about that video? Good, right? It's very detailed. It was a little bit on the longer side, but I just wanted you to see how easy it is using invideo.com. Now, she wasn't live. She used pictures, photos that's in the photo library at invideo.com. So, and this is all free. And this really was my goal tonight, is to make sure that you guys, to put together a video, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars. I mean, you can have professionals do it for you and literally spend $1,000, but you don't have to. You can do this all on your own and using the invideo.com program, and just by going over some pointers that we're discussing tonight. So here's the tell me about yourself question. Now, when you look at this, you will say, well, gee, how can I get this down to 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes? So you take what, the most important aspects about the 3 key questions within that tell me about yourself question. So what the employer is looking for is, can you do the job? Will you do the job? The second question, how well are you willing to work with others or within teams? So tell me about yourself. Can you do the job? Will you do the job? Or how well do you work with other people? And those are the 3 basic things that they're looking for. So again, as in the video, the author said, this is the most used interview question and considered an icebreaker by interviewers. This question measures the chemistry between the 2 of you and gets you to do the talking. By answering this question correctly, you will demonstrate 4 key traits interviewers are looking for, and those 4 key traits are intelligence, enthusiasm, confidence, and dependability. That's what they're looking for. This question sets the groundwork for addressing the match between what you can do for the company and basically you need to know your resume backwards, because when you're on the interview, they're going to ask you, a virtual interview, they'll ask you certain things about your resume, dates that you worked at a particular job, just detailed questions. So really memorize what's on your resume, know it backwards, okay? The The interviewee, your personal inventory should be your strongest skills, greatest areas of knowledge, greatest personality strengths, the things you do best, and your key accomplishments. Now, when answering these questions, this really is what you need to put in that resume video. The example that we just saw a little while ago, the author answered these questions and made it less than 2 minutes. So again, you're looking at your strongest skills. You'll need to write down greatest areas of knowledge, greatest personality strengths, the things you do best, and your key accomplishments. By answering these, you should have what you need to go on to that resume video. Now, the interviewer is also looking for, during the interview, your work experience, education, technical skills, communication skills, specialized training, analytical skills. Now, this is something that you can also add on to the video, talking a little bit about your work experience, not the whole entire resume, so you won't have time for that. So just a little brief history of work experience. Education is relatively quick. You went to Adelphi University, you majored in human resources or something like that. Talk a little bit about your technical skills, computer knowledge, what programs you are familiar with. Talk about your communication skills, any specialized training that you've had other than just attending a university. There may be other classes that you've taken, and your analytical skills. Okay. Now, the interviewer, okay, again, during that 2-minute presentation, they're thinking, why should I hire you? And will you do the job? So to the interviewee, reiterate your past experiences, educational background, and skills to the job, which matches the requirements of your particular job you are interviewing for, and support your skills with evidence. That, I know, guys, this is a lot of information. And, what I'll need for all of you to do is just email me. I'll share my email at the end of this. And this is a lot to really take on in a 2-hour session. So email me with any questions that you have, and I'll support you as much as I can. So the interviewer basically is looking at your motivation on that video resume, motivation, interests, goals, drive, energy, and reliability. So all of these should come through on that video, whether it's like a live video of you actually speaking, or it could be one that you put together in invideo.com, where it's not really a live video of you talking, but it's one that has mostly pictures and script added onto it. Also, the interviewer, the interviewer is looking for your fit within the company. How well do you get along with others and work in teams? That's really a goal that really means a lot to the company, because they want not, you could be an accountant, but accountants these days have to work in teams. It's not like they're sitting in a room by themselves, working on a ledger anymore. They're communicating through the internet, with other accountants within the firm. So they want to make sure that you're going to get along. Say that? I'm sorry. Did someone have a question? Okay. How well do you get along with others and work in teams? The key here is to work with others and get the job done. Okay. Remember, you may not always get along with the other employees, but you must still try and work toward a common goal of accomplishing the tasks given to you and your team members. That's the goal. And as you all know, there are sometimes people we just don't get along with. But regardless, you have to sort of, put that aside. I'm sure you all know this, put that aside and just focus on getting the work done, getting the job done. The interviewer is looking for team orientation, independence, social effectiveness, interpersonal style, and stress tolerance. I want to show you, see here, just one more slide. Can you travel, work overtime, work on weekends, relocate? So, they may have questions concerning that. Okay, here is a picture of the ring light. I'm sure you all have seen this before, right? Okay, so that's a picture of the ring light, and that's what I'm using right now. That's what's shining the light onto my face right now. Other than that, it's totally dark in the room, not much lighting, so I'm getting all of this through the ring light. Okay, so let's look at online video resume. This is something that we talked about, and if I can just go over it again, that would be great. So again, keep the video 2 minutes in length. Start with the introduction. Tell me about yourself, describing your background, education, experience, and aspirations. Use the best quality camera possible. Again, if you have a video camera, that's good. If you don't need to go out and buy one. Just use your iPhone or smartphone, or just use a still camera that has video built into it. Look straight into the lens. Don't look at the other person that's videotaping. You can do this on your own, as with that first video I showed you, where the kid videotaped it by himself by setting up his iPhone on the table. Look straight into the lens. Make sure you look presentable and businesslike. End with the short closing. And again, businesslike from the waist up. For instance, my son was just here. He was doing an interview for Fox Business. He had shorts on, but from the from the waist up, he had a nice shirt on with a jacket and a tie, and you couldn't even tell when he showed up on television. He does a lot of tech talking on Fox Business. But again, make sure halfway up you're presentable. Okay, nice hairstyle, makeup, not too much makeup, and just look really clean cut. And you can't go wrong by that. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, let's move on. I have a bunch more videos I'd like to show you. Okay, here's one. Tell me about yourself. Now, this is a really good one as well. I picked a lot of good videos for you, but this one's really amazing. So just take a look at this one.
Covers a dreaded "tell me about yourself" question. You hate this question. All of my clients hate this question, but it's a question that starts off 99% of job interviews. I highly recommend spending some time on this question because it's going to make a world of difference to your interview performance and your results. Let's get started. Why does every interviewer ask this question? Along with variations like, walk me through your background, tell me more about you. It sounds like a harmless way to start a job interview. Everybody should know a little something about themselves that they can talk about, right? From the interviewer's perspective, it's an easy way to get the conversation going. They just want to get you talking and dive into the relevant information. For the candidate, the dread comes from the fact that the question is so open-ended. You could answer in so many different ways, and people aren't quite sure what the best way is. What does this person want to know about me? They stumble, they falter, they talk too much about ancient history, and that's a terrible way to start an interview, by fumbling around and sounding confused, or worse, boring your interviewer. Instead, I want you to embrace this question, because answering this question well is one of the most effective things you can do in the entire interview. It allows you to set the tone. It gives you some power and autonomy in this interview situation, where you may otherwise feel nervous and at the mercy of your interviewer. By starting strong, you make a great first impression and shape the dialogue that comes next. Take the time to prepare. how you want to tell your story, and ensure you make a first impression that leads to a job offer. Here's how you should craft your tell me about yourself response. Think about it as an elevator pitch, a focused overview that's concise enough to deliver during an elevator ride. Your elevator pitch as a job candidate, you're going to get top selling points. Your top selling points are going to be a little bit different from job to job. You want to give a little bit of your personality and your interest in the opportunity along with your selling point. You want to sound natural and spontaneous while also covering the points that you want to communicate to make the best possible impression. I'm going to teach you to outline a standard answer that can also be customized for different opportunities. I recommend a bullet point approach, not a scripted approach. Scripted answers tend to sound stiff and artificial. Interviewers feel like they're getting to know the real you. Instead, I suggest that you outline the bullet points you want. Spontaneity serves as a sacrifice for the points each time. Then, with a little practice, you'll find that your answers will naturally evolve as you get comfortable with what you want to say. Once you know your key speaking points, you'll have room to be flexible and deliver differently in every single interview. It's not unlike how a celebrity prepares with a publicist before hitting the talk show circuit. They want to sound genuine and likable, so they don't script their remarks, but they do have an idea of the topics they want to cover. Promoting the new movie, telling a funny story about their coworker, you know how it goes. So let's get started with outlining your elevator pitch. We've got a great 3-step formula for you. Step 1, who you are. The first key component is a confident, compelling statement of who you are professionally. The most common mistake I see is candidates starting this answer by going back to the beginning of the resume and walk through their experience chronologically and often in way too much detail. This approach is weak because it leads with out-of-date and irrelevant information, instead of leading with what's most impressive about you right now. For most candidates, this includes a reference to their current position, as well as an overview of the breadth and depth of their related experience. Let's take a look at a couple of examples to give you a sense of what I'm talking about here. So here's our first candidate. Who are you? Well, I'm a recent Columbia MBA graduate with a strong background in the pharmaceutical industry. This puts the emphasis on that shiny new MBA and the candidate's industry experience. Here's another approach from a different candidate. I'm an experienced HR executive who has managed all aspects of the HR function, from recruiting to training to benefits. This is a nice big picture, high-level introduction for someone who has a diverse skill set within the HR function. It concisely summarizes a diverse background. Now let's look at a not so good example. Well, I grew up in Cincinnati. As a child, I originally wanted to be a fireman, then later became quite interested in dinosaurs. I excelled in the sciences from early on, placing first in my 4th grade science fair. You know, funny story about that. Okay, way TMI. Sadly, the interviewer does not really care. And I realize this is an exaggerated example, but trust me, I've heard a lot of people go the TMI route. Selling points are going.
TMI means too much information.
Top selling points are going to be a little bit different from job to job. You want to give a little bit of your personality and your interest in the opportunity along with your selling points. You want to sound natural and spontaneous while also covering the points that you want to communicate to make the best possible impression. I'm going to teach you to outline a standard answer that can also be customized for different opportunities. I recommend a bullet point approach, not a scripted approach. Scripted answers tend to sound stiff and artificial. Interviewers don't feel like they're getting to know the real you. Instead, I suggest that you outline the bullet points that you want to cover and leave room for spontaneity impressive about you right now. For most candidates, this includes a reference to their current position, as well as an overview of the breadth and depth of their related experience. Let's take a look at a couple of examples to give you a sense of what I'm talking about here. So here's our first candidate. Who are you? Well, I'm a recent Columbia MBA graduate with a strong background in the pharmaceutical industry. This puts the emphasis on that shiny new MBA and the candidate's industry experience. Here's another approach from a different candidate. I'm an experienced HR executive who has managed all aspects of the HR function, from recruiting to training to benefits. This is a nice big picture, high-level introduction for someone who has a diverse skill set within the HR function. It concisely summarizes a diverse background. Now let's look at a not so good example. Well, I grew up in Cincinnati. As a child, I originally wanted to be a fireman, then later became quite interested in dinosaurs. I excelled in the sciences from early on, placing first in my 4th grade science fair. You know, funny story about that. Okay, way TMI. Sadly, the interviewer does not really care. And I realize this is an exaggerated example, but trust me, I've heard a lot of people go the TMI route. The idea here is to start strong and grab their attention before getting into the details. Tell them how you want them to see you. Step 2, why you're qualified. Step 2 is kind of like the meat and the sandwich of your tell me about yourself answer. The idea here is to plan in advance which details to share that are most likely to knock the socks off of this interviewer. Remember, your interviewer doesn't have endless amounts of time. Focus on 2 to 4, maybe 5 points that you'd like to make. The goal is to keep it under 2 minutes total. So think about it. What are those 2 to 4 points? There will be more time for detail later, so focus on the biggest selling points, the stuff that you think, if you were the interviewer, would make you perk up your ears and say, this is interesting. This could be a classic reverse chronological overview of your last few positions, or it could be a list of key accomplishments tailored to the job requirements. So let's look at an example here of how you might present that middle piece of the answer. I spent the last 6 years developing my skills as a customer service manager for Mega Company Inc., where I've won several performance awards and I've been promoted twice. I love managing teams and solving customer problems. This is a very concise example, and yours can certainly have a bit more detail. Just keep in mind that the overall answer should be no longer than 2 minutes. What's good about this answer? Well, the emphasis is on relevant experience, and not just that, but proof of performance. It's not a summary of job duties. A lot of people make that mistake, both on the resume and in the interview. When asked about what you did somewhere, you're not just going to rattle off the duties that any human would have done in the position. You're going to focus on what you did that was above and beyond. Accomplishments, competencies, all of it tailored to what's relevant for the job description. Step 3, why you're here. This is your chance to express enthusiasm for the position in 1, maybe 2 sentences. Keep it short and sweet here. Here's an example of one way to do this. Although I love my current role, I feel I'm now ready for a more challenging assignment, and this position really excites me. This is very general. You could use it for a lot of different positions. If you can make it a bit more specific for the job, even better. But something along these lines will work well. You'll have time to get into more detail later, to show that you researched the company, to show why you're a great fit for the role. The goal in this moment is to wrap up your pitch in a concise, confident way and show your enthusiasm. Once you've got bullet points for each of the 3 steps, it's time to put them all together into a polished, powerful elevator pitch. The key is to practice a bit and find your rhythm, find your flow. You can practice a time or 2 with your notes handy. Then, once you've internalized the general outline, it's going to feel more natural and your personality is going to come through. To give you an idea of how it can all come together, I want to share an example answer. Here's a candidate with their version of the answer to tell me about yourself.
I have more than 5 years experience as a technical project manager at top Wall Street companies. Most recently, I helped develop an award-winning new trading platform. I'm a person who thrives in a fast-paced environment. So right now, I'm looking for an opportunity to apply my technology expertise along with my creative problem-solving skills at an innovative software company.
Your version will be even stronger. Bit more detailed, tailored for the particular type of opportunity. Now that you know what you need to do to ace this answer, it's time to outline your own bullet points for each of the 3 parts and start practicing. Big Interview has more sample answers and a fantastic practice tool to help you make the best possible first impression with tell me about yourself.
Okay. What did you think of that video? I thought it was pretty good. So again, the elevator pitch, just imagine yourself meeting in the elevator someone that you're so impressed with, and someone who has the ability to hire you. And what would you say to that person while in the elevator? What would you say to that person to make that person want to hire you? So think about that and make that 2 minutes in length or a little bit less than 2 minutes. And that's what this author was just talking about, tell me about yourself. What would you say that would impress that potential employer? And it's got to be fast because that person's getting off on the 10th floor, you're getting off on the 8th floor. So it's got to be really quick and sweet and to the point, and a message that that employer would remember you by. Okay, so the key takeaways would be a video resume may or may not be necessary. Consider your industry, the target role, the companies you're applying to before creating one. Be professional. If you do create a video resume, keep it, again, professional from the outfit to the production value. Again, you don't need a ton of money to make a resume video. Make sure it's short and will ultimately benefit your application instead of distracting from it. Share your video with mentors, trusted colleagues, friends, and family. Ask for opinions and revise the video accordingly. Now, that's the key thing when making a video. Just show it to someone else, get their opinion. Okay, make sure the lighting is good, your presentation is good, what you're wearing is appropriate. Just get other people's opinion before you post that online. Because again, once you post it online, it's going everywhere. Okay? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, let's move on. So a little bit of history. Now, this is back when CompuServe and America Online dominated what it meant to be online. It was fashionable to mention online membership on a business card, if any of you can remember that. There were no .com email addresses back then, just a cryptic reference to something like AOL or CompuServe 76,000. So just a little bit of history. Most people feel today, because of the outbursts of the internet, it's everyone's online. Even our kids, even our little toddlers are online. But when you send out a resume, you feel like it's going into a black hole. And maybe a lot of times it is, because the employer is getting, again, thousands of resume just for one job. So it's got to be good. Maybe we can have a class on resume writing at some point, and I can help you with that. But again, right now, if you're planning on making a video resume, just go over the tell me about yourself question. I mean, you can even find this online. I can share some of the videos with you in an email, but really practice answering that question. Now, chances are it's going to go over the 2 minutes, but you can, with practice, you can get it down to, let's say if it's 4 minutes, with practice, get it down to 3 minutes, then keep practicing some more, get it down to the 2 minutes, and maybe a minute and a half. And that basically is your elevator pitch, which, it's the script that's going to get you that position that you're looking for. So resumes are becoming high tech. Again, this is one way it's becoming high tech. It's becoming a video resume, and more companies will start to use it, at some point. Books, videos, seminars, and a myriad of other resources have been developed about how to make your resume get attention. Such resources largely deal with traditional rules. It's still very traditional. New rules in the resume game are being written, as in resume videos. Like everything having to do with job seeking these days, technology is revolutionizing an old idea. Many professionals now have a personal website, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. If you can put together a personal website, and you can go online and you can just Google how to put together a website, okay? This is something I talked about back in 2005 over at NYU. Have a personal website where it's, let's say, sandrameyer.com, okay? You post only professional stuff on that website, nothing personal, nothing regarding family members, and you can put your resume on there. When you finally, come around to doing the video resume, which will be very soon, I'm sure, you can actually add that onto the personal website. But it's very important, because what's happening now is when you send out a personal resume to an employer, again, it goes into a computer. They don't necessarily see it right away, unless it's somebody you know. It could be a friend of the family that says, okay, Jean, please send me a resume. Here's my personal email. A lot of these employees have their personal email and they have the business email. And that's the same with me. I have a bunch of email accounts where I keep everything separated. Anything that's business, anything that's personal, and anything that's friends and family. So it would be good if you can have, a site dedicated to you only. And this way you can post anything regarding a job search on that website. This way, when you send out your resume, you want to say on that resume, here's my personal email, sandrameyer.com. Okay. Not personal email, but personal website. So this way, the employer can go into that website and they have access to your current resume, a cover letter, and a video resume. Does anyone have any questions? This is a lot of information, I know. It's a lot to handle in one night. So anyway, let's continue. Professional connectivity is promoted and skills can be better showcased through a personal website. While many websites can be established for free, and they can, all you have to do is look it up through a variety of sources, nothing speaks more of your commitment to the use and future of technology than the myname.com approach that many savvy job seekers use these days. And that's what they're doing. They're looking at your personal website. And again, anything personal, keep off completely. Just make it totally professional. And you can add graphics to it, or you can keep it plain. Whatever your industry specializes in, just kind of like target it towards that particular industry that you're in. For those without web design skills, there are a number of resources available. You can have someone do it for you, but I suggest, again, we are trying to keep, keep it on the free end. So definitely look this up online, or maybe another class. We can talk a little bit about this as well. It's something that's more technical. I was thinking of, this, I can actually show you how to put together a video using a professional camera, but that's down the road. We'll talk about that another time. Job seekers now should turn to other forms of technology to develop a resume that will get notice. And this is something that I put together back in 2005. The use of video as in a resume is not a new idea nowadays, but integrating video into a website designed to work with your paper resume is unique in the use of video. So again, it's not just having a paper resume, but that's good. And you have the cover letter, and also just keep in mind too that when you send out a resume and a cover letter, as a PDF, the moment you get an acknowledgement, I suggest that you send out a thank you letter, because that's important too. And that will help. Even if it goes into a computerized system, that system organizes under your name the resume, the cover letter, and the thank you letter. So if those three things are seen eventually by the recruiter, those are three items that they'll remember you by. So it's very important that you send out a thank you letter as well. Okay, so just to recap, why do a video resume? Okay, it's high tech. This is where we're going. This is what's happening now. And it's not going to stop. This is just the beginning. It's becoming virtual. Everyone's starting to do this nowadays, have their own website and their video resume. And again, it could be a resume where you use invideo.com, that video that I showed you previously. And again, it's free. Now, there will be a point after using invideo.com, they may ask you to start paying, but you don't have to. Just do the free part of it, and that's all you need. There are thousands, literally thousands of pictures, graphics that you can use and not pay a single dime. So with a high-tech resume, the employer would have instant access. They get to see you in a video. They get to see what a potential employee has to say. Okay? Instant access, potential employer can view immediately. Convenient for the potential employer? Yes, very, very convenient. They don't have to call you up right away. All they do is they look at this video and they decide. Now, in a way, it can be unfair. It can, because each one of us are different. But it doesn't matter as long it doesn't matter what how can I say this? What you look like. All that matters is the way you come across in that video, the content of what you have to say about your past experience, the way you're dressed. Okay, that's all that really matters. So a lot of employers tend to not want to accept a resume video because they're afraid of certain things. But again, it's very convenient. You can make your message perfect, and you can augment the traditional interview, because at some point, even with the paper resume, the video resume, they're going to ask if you can go online and conduct with them an actual interview online. Has anyone done that recently? Has anyone gone on an interview, a virtual interview? Okay, well, it's, because of COVID, that's how most interviews are right now. Using Zoom, like we are at this moment, you'll have to do an interview using Zoom, and that's just everyone being on the safe side. Okay, but everything's changing. Why do a video resume? Again, we're recapping. The number one reason for producing a video resume in today's job market is if you don't do video resume, your competition will. Creating a video resume will make you stand out from the crowd. Okay, let's take a look at, here is another video that I found, which is really good too. So just take a look at this one, and we'll continue with the presentation after.
From the beginning, HiredMyWay.com has been convinced that video profiles will become one of the most important employment tools for job seekers and employing companies in the future. Employers want to see the video profile first. They want to see if you, as a candidate, inspires them and or fits with the culture of their company before they study the qualifications on your resume. In most cases, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants vying for the same position. So it is likely that the first elimination for an employer will be those who do not have a video profile. Before you start making your video profile, ask yourself what makes up your brand. Ask yourself this: what are your values? Character, integrity, ethics, morality. What is your passion? What would get you up in the morning? Ask yourself, what are your gifts? What talents are you born with? How would you describe yourself in a business setting? Are you introverted, extroverted, a self-performer, or a team player? These are all important questions to ask yourself before you start making your video profile. Here's what you need to make your video profile. It needs to be short and to the point while pulling out your dynamic personality. So remember, this should be no longer than a minute. Christine's video is exactly 1 minute. When making her video profile, Christine asked herself the following questions. Introduce yourself and the type of position you are looking for.
Hi, my name is Christine Kiernan, and I'm looking for a sales coordinator position within a fast-growing, high-energy company.
Give a very brief example of your past experience and the current or last position held.
For the past 10 years, I've been the main point person for one of the most prominent residential construction companies in the country.
Describe how you excel or what makes you stand out in your current or last role.
In my current position, I organize and facilitate the communications between many high-profile clients, the finest architects, and the most talented interior designers.
What makes you unique or amazing to work with?
I've been told by others that I have boundless energy, a great sense of humor, and a smile that just won't quit.
Make sure you close with a strong, straightforward statement.
If you're looking for a focused, organized, and highly motivated individual with an entrepreneurial mindset, I'm your candidate.
Here is what you will need to get started: a video camera, a laptop, and some editing software, which there are various free versions out there on the web. After your video profile is all done, you will have to upload it to YouTube and take the URL and upload it to your Hired My Way profile. If you need more help than this, purchase Hired My Way's do-it-yourself video profile package, available right here on the My Optimization section of your profile. You just need that winning personality, some determination, and employers will be able to see you like never before. Want to make sure that you stand out from a pile of resumes? Unleash the power of video profiles.
Okay. So that's another video. Now the company Hired My Way was actually sold, I believe, for a couple $1 million. But I mean, it's a company that would actually do the video for you. But, you know, they charge a good bit of money. So you don't want to take that route right now, because this is something you can clearly do by yourself. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so again, let's talk about the website and the YouTube channel. YouTube, it's free. It's something that you could do on your own. It's easy to set up. It's a no-brainer. And even the personal website, you can definitely put together a personal website. Which is better? You know, I honestly think they're both are good, but the personal website, in my opinion, would be better because you can, you know, it's your website. It has your name on it, and you can always add and take away information, update it consistently. So think about really putting together a website. Why do a video resume again? It's just another tool to help you get the job that you want. And I'm all for it. I think it's fantastic. Types of video resumes, again, hosted online at your own website. This is the preferred method. Email version or video for mailing. You can have it on a DVD or a VHS, but you know, that takes additional work, and you have to figure out how to upload it onto the DVD or the VHS. So I would say just using an iPhone right now. If you have a small video camera, those two would be perfect at this point. This way you can upload it onto the personal website and just email it to the potential employer. And you know what? When they get that video resume, they're going to want to look at it because they'll say to themselves, well, gee, you know, this person took the time to, you know, put together this video. Let's just see if he or she's the right person for the job. Let's take a look right now. It's like, so something for you to think about. Okay. Does anyone have any questions at all? Okay, again, to recap, you videotape the 2-minute message. And again, it won't be 2 minutes in the very beginning. You're talking like 4 minutes. So again, just practice over and over and over again and just get it down to the 2 minutes. If you're familiar with, it's another iMovie, it's another way of editing. It's editing software. So you can always use iMovie if you're familiar with it. If you're not, don't worry about it. Just you don't have to go into iMovie. But if you are familiar, then you can play around with the video as much as possible and do some, you know, fancy editing. Okay, upload the video onto your website. See what other information. Okay, practice getting your checklist right. You, again, need good lighting, good camera angle, look directly into the camera lenses, monitor your Wi-Fi connection, test the microphone on your iPhone or smartphone, dress professionally, use an appropriate backdrop, no virtual backgrounds. There are thousands of virtual backgrounds that show the beach, that show trees, the forest. Don't even go that route. Just keep it plain, like what I have back here. Just keep it nice and simple, and that would be the best route to take. So no virtual backgrounds at all. Maintain good eye contact by looking directly into the camera, and you all know what good eye contact means. When you're on an actual interview and you shake the interviewer's hands, which we can't do nowadays, but you know, you have to look directly into the interviewer's eyes. At the same time, you're, shaking their hands or meeting them for the first time. You look directly into their eyes. What that does is within minutes, or not minutes, but actually seconds, within seconds, the interviewer is trying to figure out, is this the right person for the job? So that initial interview meeting, okay, that's when you meet for the first time, that really makes all the difference. It can break the interview, or, within, I guess, within minutes, the interviewer pretty much can tell if you're the right person for the job. That's how fast it happens. It's just amazing. And, I've worked in human resources for many years, and I know, and when the interviewer comes in, it's that initial contact, that friendliness that they have, that, the personality. You have to make sure it just comes through within those first few minutes. And that, again, will make or break the interview. So maintain good eye contact by looking into the camera while making your video. Maintain good posture. Now, what I always tell my students is, I said, sometimes it's very easy to slouch, sit like this. Now, how do I look sitting like this compared to this? All you need to do is take your shoulders and move them back. And that will help you with the posture while working on the video. And also manage family backgrounds. Just make sure there isn't any extra sounds throughout the house while you're making your video. And don't do it outside, because there's so many distractions outdoors. Again, eye contact. Individuals who are really good at interviewing are also really good at maintaining good eye contact with the interviewer. Upon meeting the interviewer, either online, which, it's happening nowadays, be sure to smile and look directly into his or her eyes. Now, you may be tempted, which is very easy to do, to actually, when you see the interviewer on the other end, okay, you're looking at that person, but what you really need to do is look into the camera that's on your computer, okay? Because that's maintaining good eye contact with them. Occasionally, take a look at them as they're speaking, but then when it's your turn to talk, look directly into the camera, because you're looking directly into their eyes, okay? Eye contact serves two major purposes for the interviewer. It's nonverbal. It's part of nonverbal communication. And without speaking, if you have good eye contact, that's the interviewer is getting a good feel, a view of who you are. Okay. Okay, also, one of the other things I want to touch base on is vocalics. Vocalics, when doing the resume video resume, you have to be careful of how you sound. No background noise. Vocalics refers to the way in which an individual uses their voice. Because success in the workplace is as much a product of how a person is perceived in terms of work ethic and motivation as it is of skills and training one's voice can play an important role in establishing that attitude. So be loud and clear, not too loud, as clear as possible. Okay, most people can accurately identify the emotions of an individual based on that person's voice expressions. People don't often realize how they sound to others unless you play that video back, okay, over and over again. Don't expect to get it right the first time, because you won't. Once you start to see yourself on camera, on video, you will start to see how you sound to other people, how you will sound to the potential employer. So again, go over it over and over again. So this can be partially corrected by listening to the recordings of one's own voice and evaluating it. So again, just play it back a few times and see how you sound. So again, the employer is looking to figure out, can you do the job? Okay, will you do the job? And how well do you work? What is your fit? Can you fit within the company? They know what they're looking for, and they're looking for that right personality, that right person to fit within their company, keeping in mind that you'll work in teams. Okay, can you do the job, and will you do the job? And will you fit within the company? Okay, let's take a look at another video I have. Let's see here. Okay, this one, this video resume, this actually, it has a bit of a script, and it shows you how to put together a script. So it's another good one. So I'll just turn this on right now. Okay, just take a look at the script. Okay, good. I have another video, but I'll show that to you at the end. So again, the simplest video you can put together. To recap, I'll show this to you one more time. And if all of you can just play around with it, okay? If you have some silly putty, just watch what this young man does and how he videotapes himself. Now he puts the iPhone. Okay, it's that simple. And you don't really hear him speaking, but that was just the video I pulled out because I wanted to show you that it's just a matter of using your iPhone to shoot it on. And the iPhone comes with an excellent camera. It's really advanced. And also the camera that's on your laptop, those cameras are very advanced on most computers and laptops. So you can shoot it on a laptop as well if you have a camera setting. But I think the iPhone would be the easiest way, and it's best if you don't have someone hold it. You just place it on a table and make sure that your eyes and the camera lens meet. Okay, that it's on the same level. Like I'm at the same level as the camera on my laptop right now. In fact, I played around with it and I knew exactly how high I should make the laptop computer. This way I can speak right smack into the camera lens. Okay, so you see it's just meeting my eyes at the same level, and that's what you want with the iPhone before shooting the video. So definitely play around with it. So again, let's just recap the Tell Me About Yourself, because this is really, it's intensive. What the employer is looking for again, and what you should answer, and practice with that script. Just one page. It's all you have to do is one page. Just compare it with your resume. Pull some stuff out of your resume and put a script together. Okay, and imagine yourself while putting that script together. Just imagine yourself being in an elevator with like this amazing CEO, and you're like meeting him for the first time or meeting her for the first time, and you're saying to yourself, "Oh my gosh, what do I say? I really want to work with this person, with this company. What do I say?" So imagine yourself in an elevator and having to come up with something to really impress the CEO by, okay? Talking about yourself. Okay, again, this is the most used interview question and considered an icebreaker by interviewers. So this in the elevator, or it doesn't have to be the elevator, it could be on the street that you just recognize this person. And you know what? If you just meeting them for the first time, when you think about it, life is so short. You want to really get to the point and impress certain people that can help you, that can help make your life better. So you want to come up with just a nice short script, okay? Talking about you, talking about your background, talking about your past experiences really fast within, I'd say the elevator, maybe a minute. If you're with the resume video, you want to make it at least, up to 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes. So this question measures the chemistry between the two of you and gets you to do the talking, all of the talking. By answering this question correctly, you will demonstrate 4 key traits interviewers are looking for. And if you remember, they are enthusiasm, confidence, and dependability. Okay? And this again is the ring light. If there's one thing you can purchase. Now, this one is the floor model. This one's a little bit more money, but if you get the one that clips onto your laptop, that's the one that I'm using right now. It's about this big, this long, and it has like these clasps, so it just clips onto your laptop. Or you can have it clip onto, let's say, something behind the laptop, but it has to be facing you. It can't be behind your head, because the lighting just won't work that way. It won't look good. It'll have, there'll be a lot of shadows and whatnot. So this lighting now, it's hitting my face. It's very soft. It's not harsh in any way. And I also did some research, and there's actually another ring light. It's about this big. Okay, it's not long. It's just this big, has a little clamp. It's a lot lighter, and I just saw it for the first time yesterday. So that one, it's very lightweight, and it clips right onto your laptop as well. Okay, so something to really think about purchasing. And that's it. That's all you have to, if you can, do it, fine. If not, just get a nice lamp with soft lighting and place that lamp in front of you, behind the computer. Okay? And just be wary of the makeup and what you're wearing. That's all important as well. Okay. So again, that question that you'll be answering, it sets the groundwork for addressing the match between what you can do and what the company needs. Know your resume backwards. Very, very important. So the interviewee, does anyone want my email so I can email some of this stuff to you?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. It's sandymix@mac.com. Sandy, SANDY, Mix, MIX. That's my maiden name. At mac.com. Just shoot me an email and just tell me what you need, and I'll just send it out to you. Sandy Mix,
Can you repeat it, please? It's Sandy and the last name?
Oh, sure. Sandy Mix, MIX. Sandy Mix, like mix. Like mixing something. And MIX.
Right, and Mac.com, M-A-C?
Yes, at mac.com.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a very old name. It goes back to 11th century.
Uh-huh, very nice though. I like it.
I know, people are always saying, is that really your maiden name? And I would say, yes, it is. It's my maiden name.
Different, nobody forgets.
It's a very old German last name, and it goes back to 11th century Germany. So I'm always getting.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Always to remember, Mrs. Mix. Thanks again.
Yeah, that's you won't forget it, believe me.
For sure.
Yeah. So, to recap again, there's one other video I'd like to show you, but when answering the question, look at the strongest of your skills, okay? The greatest areas of knowledge that you have on what you do that's so good that you want to show it to the employer. You want to prove it to them that you're really good at the skills that you're mentioning in the video. Your greatest personality strengths. So this is something I'd like to email to you. The things you do best and your key accomplishments. If you can answer this on that video, and this will definitely take up the 2 minutes, and use this, look at your resume, pull out from your resume your strongest skills, greatest areas of knowledge, okay? That's all in your resume. Greatest personality strengths, which what your greatest personality strengths are. When people say to you, wow, you're so full of energy, you can say, yeah, I'm full of energy and very energetic. If you say you're a workaholic, just say something like, I am a workaholic. I love working. I'll work until I get the job done, but I also like having fun. Just to let them know that you have a life outside of work, and that's what they want to know. And talk about the things you do best and your key accomplishments. Yeah. And if you can also list the work experience, which this one covers strongest skills, greatest areas of knowledge. That goes right into what the interviewer is looking for, the work experience, education, because you want to mention the school that you went to, what your major was. Do you have any technical skills, any communication skills? I'm a good communicator. I reach out to people. I feel very comfortable with people. I'm a people person. You could talk about that. Any specialized training that you've had, and analytical skills, again, would come in. If let's say if you're in the accounting field, you need a lot of analytical skills. Okay, so the interviewee, reiterate your past experiences again, educational background and skills that matches the requirements of the particular job you're interviewing for, and support your skills with evidence. I'd like to show you another video. Now, this video, it's a perfect video. Now, this is done by a real professional, real videographer. And, he's looking for a job, within the video production field. So he put together this video that's amazing. It's awesome. It's really, really nice. So I'd like to show this to you. And you don't have to necessarily do something like this. You're not expected to. This one's a little bit on the longer side, but it's really nice. I'd like to show it. A filmmaker's creative video resume. It's really nice.
What if you only had 2 minutes to tell your story, to let someone into your life just briefly enough so they could see where you're coming from and where you're going? Well, here goes nothing. My name is Denny Crumble, and what I'm about to share with you means everything to me. I'm a filmmaker from Buffalo, New York. I've spent the past 8 years honing my craft and another 6 years experimenting before that. You see, I grew up skateboarding and had a pretty good run at it. Won competitions, invented tricks, and even had a few signature boards with my name on it. But the best thing that came of it was my love for creating videos. What started out as the means of getting sponsored turned into a passion that allowed me to continue my creativity even after hanging up my skateboard. It gave me the opportunity to see my work on television, help musicians be seen, capture the most important moments of people's lives, and watch my films play on the big screens of movie theaters. My work will make you laugh, cry, and leave a lasting impression. So here I am today, making my way out to Denver, Colorado, to fulfill my dream of eventually buying some land and building a tiny house. It may not be average, but this is my story, and I hope I get to share it with you.
Okay. So that's an amazing video resume. So, but he's a professional. I mean, we can't expect any less. But the editing that went into that, I mean, that was 2 minutes long. It probably took him the entire day shooting that video, going to different locations, and the amount of time that he spent editing, probably another day or so of editing that, a day of shooting down to 2 minutes of video. And that's like what we see on TV. Everything looks so at ease. It looks easy, but the work that goes on behind it is phenomenal, especially with the editing part. So, and you can go into, maybe I can talk to Denise about maybe having another seminar and talk about the actual shooting and using a camera and some editing skills. Maybe we could work on that if it's something that you all might be interested in. But we'll see what happens. Here's one more video I'd like to show you. How to make your first video.
I'm going to show you how to make a video using the Biteable Video Maker. Now, the easiest way to make a video with Biteable is to start with a template. You'll see there's a big variety of stuff.
Okay, this is Biteable. If you all can get hold of this program, it's free. All you have to do is sign up. It's BITEABLE. And it's something that can help you make your first video as well. Completely free. Biteable. BITEABLE.
I'm going to show you how to make a video using the Biteable Video Maker. Now, the easiest way to make a video with Biteable is to start with a template. You'll see there's a big variety of styles and uses to choose from. Now, you might be asking, what is a template? A template is basically a video that we've made for you with a certain style and a certain kind of content that you can edit and change however you like. Now, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to choose a business promo down here, and I'm going to choose this video of a chameleon. I'll hit edit video to get started. Video opens for editing. You can preview the first scene by clicking this small play button here. And then if you've decided, this isn't the right background for me, then to change the background, it's as simple as clicking on the background. And then over on the right-hand side, you hit replace background. And now here you have a big choice. There's around about 800,000 videos to choose from, more than 1 million images, or if you have your own content, then you can also choose to upload using this upload button on the left. I'm going to go with a video. Let's say I wanted to convert this video into something for a building company. So I'll just type in the word builder, and then I'll choose this one here. And now that I've replaced my video footage in my scene, I can then watch that by again pressing the play button. Now let's have a look at how you can change the text in your video. I'm going to click on this text box in this scene, and I'm going to show you how to change the text. So highlight my text. This is currently an advertisement for an accountant. We'll change this to an advertisement for a builder. So if we change this text to looking for a builder, you can trust. Now, should we wish to make our text any bigger, then we can just grab the handle on the corner of the text box and we can resize that. We can also grab the text box and move that wherever we please on our canvas. If we want to add more text boxes on the screen at the same time, then we use the plus button here. And then these text boxes can be moved independently. So be edited independently, but we can, if we choose, we can also grab them as a group and then slide them.
So, this is something you'd have to go into, and it's a little bit complicated, biteable, but when you play around with it, it just gets easier. So it's a way of, putting together a video and with some editing features in it. And again, it's completely free. So if you want, I can show more of the video, or we can, I can pause and take some questions if you have any questions, since we only have a few minutes left.
I have a quick question. Oops.
Sure. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just wondering if LinkedIn has any services like this to post videos.
Yes,
or
you can
no.
post, yes, definitely. You can definitely post a video on LinkedIn. Well, after creating the video, you just take the URL and you just post that into your LinkedIn profile. And make sure, though, it's something that you want your, connections to view. Make sure it's something that you're comfortable with. But LinkedIn is an excellent way. LinkedIn, Facebook, and again, if you have, LinkedIn is very, business oriented. So I would definitely suggest posting it on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So does anybody else have any questions?
Sandra, when will you give this course again? I'm so sorry I missed a big part of the beginning because I set my alarm for the wrong time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Denise. What is your name? Just send me an email and tell me that you missed the first part.
Yeah. My name is Karina.
Okay.
And I have your email address, so I'll send you did you say to send you an email?
Yes, send me an email to SandyMix, SandyMix @mac.com.
Got it. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. I set my alarm, but for the wrong time, and
okay.
I was like, oh no.
Oh, that's all right. I'll talk to Denise and we'll figure out something.
Can you at least, is it possible for you to share the slides? Can you send those?
I can share the content, not the actual slides,
Okay.
but I'll share the content with you.
Okay.
Yeah, just put that in an email.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yes, there were some questions that were put into the chat earlier.
Okay.
Victor asks, couldn't you script it and have someone shoot you? And also, at which point would you send your video resume and attach the file along with your PDF resume and post it on LinkedIn? And is it okay to incorporate stock footage?
Yes, you can definitely post it on LinkedIn and incorporate stock footage, as footage you would get in that website, Biteable or invideo.com. You can get a lot of stock footage. I mean, there are a whole bunch of websites, but those two are the two that I really like working with. Again, they're Biteable.com and invideo.com. InVideo is very, very easy to use and incorporate footage. Definitely. What is the other question?
And couldn't you script it and have someone, a professional do it, like a mini TED Talk? And at what point do you send your video resume, attach the file with your PDF resume, and post it on LinkedIn?
Yes, you can script it. Again, it has to be about 2 minutes in length, but really practice, answering or going over the script a few times before actually making a completed video and sending it as a PDF file. And you can definitely post that on LinkedIn.
And when would you do that?
As soon as possible, but just make sure that you have a few people, family members, friends that would look at this video and say to you, yeah, this looks good. Don't just send something that you've made for the first time. This is going to take some practice, before you get it right. Camera angle, the lighting, you've got to dress professionally. I mean, it's a whole process, but it can be done, and it can be done easily without any costs.
I have a quick question. Do you think this is a good tool for someone that is switching careers?
Yes, I think it's a very good tool, and I think you'd have to explain, what career you've been in previously, why you're switching careers, and is it because you've discovered that this new career is really what you've always wanted? But I would suggest that you do a resume video for switching careers, because that would be
right.
the top questions they'll ask you. And if you can put that in a video, that would be really good.
Okay, thanks.
Sandra, I have a question. Looks like some of my questions were lost in translation. Like when you typically send your normal kind of conventional old style resume to a recruiter or a potential hiring manager, you typically do a brief transmittal message and you attach your conventional PDF resume. Would that be the time when you attach your video resume at the same time, or send it instead? Or what's the point when the video? I understood what you said about website, but in terms of attaching it to the emails, what would be the appropriate time to send it to the recruiter?
I would say send them together. Send the video resume and the paper resume together, because most likely what's going to happen is they'll take a look at that video resume first and then open up the paper resume. So yeah, so send them together. Don't send one without the other, because it'll just get lost in the shuffle.
Excellent. And the other question, which was also lost in translation, like there could be apparently two different styles for this 90-second resume. One would be what you showed in one of your video clips, when basically the person appears on the screen and makes the verbal presentation for maybe like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and the rest is a compilation of text and template stuff background. And another possible way would be kind of what I would call a mini TED Talk, in which case for 90 seconds, you basically present who you are. You're on the stage, completely in the limelight, but instead of 15 minutes like the TED Talk, it would be only for up to 90 seconds.
Yes.
So I assume that those would be like two different styles. What is your recommendation?
It's really up to the applicant. It's what you feel comfortable with. I know some people don't really feel comfortable doing it like a live TED Talk presentation, and they would prefer having, you know, stock footage or posting a photo of themselves in the very beginning. So there are two types. There's the one where you can post a photo of yourself or a couple of photos throughout the video and incorporate stock footage and script. And then there's the other video resume where you're actually live on camera talking about yourself. So it's really up to the individual. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. And you can play around with both. You can do a compilation of stock footage and do one that's live and see, you know, just see where your comfort level is. Okay. Before deciding which one of the two you need to incorporate with the paper resume.
Great answer. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, does anyone have any other questions?
Yes, there are a few more questions that were typed in. Do you have any recommendations on how to cut down your resume, normal and video? I often struggle to keep my resume just under one page and would appreciate suggestions.
Okay. Well, first of all, you answer the question, tell me about yourself. And you may have to send me an email so I can send you some of the script, you know, listed under that question. Answer the question. Chances are you'll go beyond a page. After you complete the one page, go back again and try editing any additional words that you can take out. Just try cutting it back. Practice answering the question in front of the camera and try keeping it under 2 minutes. This will take, again, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. This will take a lot of practice on your end, but do first thing, answer the tell me about yourself question, and then rehearse it and keep rehearsing it and cutting down, editing. And that would be the best way to do it. If you start thinking, gee, it's too long, that may prevent you from actually getting the first draft completed. So just get the first draft done. You're looking at like maybe 3 or 4 different drafts, you know, to get it down to the 2 minutes or the 90 seconds. It's not something that will happen right away.
And the last one in the chat, is it better to use a computer or phone within video?
Use your phone within video. The phones, how old is or how new is the phone?
This was Olga's question.
Olga, are you still here?
Yes.
How new is the phone or how old is it?
I have the Galaxy Note 8. So.
Okay, that has a good camera on it. I would suggest you using that camera.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, definitely use the phone camera because they're just so up to date now. All of the phones have excellent cameras on them.
And to editing and everything, should we put it? Can we do everything on the phone, or we have to use a laptop and the phone, or we can do everything on the phone?
Yeah, I would suggest going into invideo.com and try doing some editing. Just play around with the program a little bit, but you can do editing on the phone as well. Do you have that feature that does editing on the Galaxy? It should have an editing feature.
I'm not sure, but I guess if we pay a little bit, we can do that.
Yeah, just take a look and play around with it. But there should be editing because I have the editing on my iPhone. And it's very easy for me to shoot a video and actually edit on the iPhone itself. You know, take out what's not necessary or redo it and add some footage onto it. So the Galaxy should have that feature.
Thank you so much. It was a
You're
great presentation.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you like it. So we'll have some more presentations. Maybe we could do something that's really technical. It might be a little bit difficult, but still, at least you'll see what editing can do, how beautiful it can make a whole video. It can just really add so much if you have a little bit of editing skills. And you don't need anything fancy. You don't need fancy equipment. You just need your phone. That's it. Well, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it.